What's up, guys? Casey here with CatDadCards. Going through my PSA submission, my first one for the LE card I pulled, and kind of just feeling my way through it. I've read plenty of articles and watched videos on different people and different grading tips. I've got my cardboard and my rubber bands according to the PSA site, and then card savers. I can post a link in the video. It's just to Amazon, not affiliated with anything. But I wanted to walk through and show you the PSA submission. I know plenty of guys out there have done it and can definitely give me tips and help with all of this, but I kind of learned by doing, so I'm just going to do it. The card, I looked through these pricings down here, and I think I'm going to fall under probably the 129 for declared value 2,500 or less, but there's a chance I could be at this. It's a bit confusing because it talks about declared value as what the card is worth after it's graded. It's declared value, and for one, that's tough whenever it's a new card. There's not comps. You're kind of setting the market. My background is a lot of things, but real estate was one for a long time, and comparable sales, comps. One of the reasons why I like cards so much is going through and pricing them and finding the comparables to that. So we don't have a card. This is 1 of 10. And see if you can see that. I'll try the other. So this is 1 of 10. And the 25s have been pulled. The 50s been pulled. I believe the 1 of 1. I don't think that sale on it was a legit sale, and it probably sold again. So I don't know. But I do know we have that going on, so we don't have any other sold ones. I think number 4 was pulled and was briefly on eBay, but did not sell. And I checked all different places, and I can go through and show how I comp cards and all the different apps I use and everything in an upcoming video. But the second thing is it's kind of subjective to me, because if PSA is going to say what's the declared value, that's kind of subjective based upon what value you're going to give back to me on the card. If you give me a 9, that's going to be drastically different than if it's a 10. So I'm not really sure. I do know that they will upcharge if it's worth more, and that's not a bad thing in my opinion. I think that's a good thing. So I started it earlier. I just created an account and started it for the first time, and then totally realized I was botching recording, and that's why you practice. And I'm new to all this, so it is what it is. So I had to restart this. So we're gonna ignore that and do new submission. And it's just cool. I have seen people at shows submit grading and everything. I don't know if you get immediate turnaround or what, but anyway. Alright, so regular trading card. And then we're doing just regular grading. I've seen a lot of guys do the autograph, and I'm not really sure why, because it's a Topps certified product, and the autograph itself, you can actually see, is already authenticated. And in my opinion, there's no extra need to spend that money on getting the autograph authenticated if it already is. If this was your off-brand product, then possibly could be a different story. So I think I'm just going with the grading, and that's what matters the most. So we'll continue here. All right, so I saw, and this wasn't here the other day, popped up. They have a special going on now. It's the same max declared value of $2,500 for $100, so saving $40 compared to the normal. And it comes with grader notes, which I think is super cool. it'd be interesting to read all those. I got a toolkit and everything to grade it, but I don't really want to be touching this card that much because I've never really had a card worth grading. So, at least in my opinion, and I think that's what the hobby's all about, is what's your opinion. It's not what someone else says you should do or shouldn't do. It's what brings you joy. It's a hobby at the end of the day, and we spend money on what we value and what's interesting looking to us. And I'm always going to support that. I do think that if we're going off of declared value, I think I've got a great chance of getting a 10 on this. That it's going to be, usually, I'm not sure the exact rule, but I'm seeing things that if you have a PSA 9, a 10 is usually almost 3 times what a 9 is. So it's quite the difference on that. I do feel this card is probably worth about $6,000 if it's a PSA 10, just from some of the other things I've briefly seen. It could be more, it could be way less. Either way, that's fine with me. That's my uneducated assumption at this point. But there's not enough to know yet. So I think I'm just going to go with this one. And if they upgrade me to that, no worries. That's a good thing to me. But we'll just find it and go with that. All right, we got trading card grading. Express Holiday 99 for declared value 2,500. Yeah, so it's me after, and again, I know a ton of you guys know this. Y'all have done this thousands of times. A lot of us are new to the hobby or returning to the hobby and don't know all these things, so we're just kind of learning as we go. We understand you will not know the true value of item till it has been graded, so we ask that you form a realistic, educated estimate based on your own research. Keep in mind the declared value acts as a maximum value for the shipping insurance purpose. Okay, so it's kind of more about shipping insurance. I'm doing one of my own pet peeves. Reading to you what's on the screen. It's like I've been in so many seminars before, they put the PowerPoint up, or maybe college class. I don't even know if they have PowerPoint anymore. But they sit there and speakers reading to you what's there for you to read. It's like, what the point of you putting it up there for me to read if you're then going to then read it to me? You could be teaching me about it and talking about it instead of reading. Anyway, I just did my own pet peeve, so sorry. All right, select and continue. What I am curious about, though, is do I have better chances of receiving a 10 or a higher value if I paid them more? So if I was to go back and select the one for max declared value of 5,000, pay them the $250 as opposed to $100 with the special, am I more likely to get a better grade from them because I gave them more money? I know that would not be best business practices, but so much of what I've read and seen on this is you're very much at the hands of the grader that you receive on that. So I'm kind of curious. I kind of almost want to pay the extra money in case that does kind of give them the impetus to give me a higher grade. I don't know. No, we're just going to learn. I'm going with this. If they upgrade me, great. Bonus win. All right, so here's where I think the issue is going to come in, is finding this. Because, all right, so this is, let that focus. T89CU-ED. T89CU-ED. And I believe that music is beating with the camera, with the beat. So that's kind of annoying. I'll have to fix that, but unless you're grooving. I don't think it's going to find this in there, but I'll try it. T89CU-ED. Nobody wants ED, that's for sure. So normally I would put the hashtag, but I don't think this thing is going to want that. Okay, so it's pulling down here the silver pack thing. Alright, declared value. I'm going to put it at the max of 2,500 because I truly believe raw right now that's probably the price. It might, I don't know, it's not been sold, so no one can say as of today's date, November 4th, exactly what it is. Alright, so I think that's it. Proceed to checkout. Alright, I think I'm going to ship this on my own because I think I want to get some insurance. Yeah. Alright, I can finish all this afterwards, but according to the site, you have to make sure you put it in the cardboard box like that, put rubber bands on it, don't use tape. I know plenty of people do what they do, and that's fine. I wouldn't say I'm a rule follower, but I do believe that you tend to get back what you put out, and if I follow their guidelines, I might have a better chance of getting a better product back. So that's what I'll do. I don't want any excuses, if you will, for them to say, hey, I'm not going to give this guy a good grade because he couldn't just follow our simple instructions of use a rubber band and things of that sort. So it is curious to me that they have so many stinking addresses to send for all these different things. That's crazy to me. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out and then start boxing it up. I guess I'll switch over to a different view. Alright, this is the part that I don't like because accidents happen. Alright, success. So I am leaving it in the current one it's in. That is nice. Will focus. Corners look sharp. It looks fairly centered to me. My only thought is there could be a little bit more at the top than the bottom. I think left to right centering is pretty clean, but top to bottom there might be more real estate up here than down there. So we'll live and learn. They did well on some of these, for sure. I don't think anybody would turn it down. Now, I've seen plenty of guys take the card out and brush it off, wipe it down, and all that. I watched this card literally be taken straight from the pack and directly inserted into top loader. God, this is tight. Why do they want this? I know it's because they don't want the thing you saw me struggling to put that in there. That's exactly right why they want us to do it, because accidents happen and it could be bent or something like that. And they don't want that liability. They'd rather watch us struggle. And I would say it's for speed, but I don't know if speed is their priority. I'm about to get a different top or a different sleeve if this doesn't go down on its own soon. If you're watching this, let me know your tips and tricks or critiques. That's fine. Actually curious if anybody's ever messed up a card by trying to get it in here. So I know they actually just cut these open. All right, I'm done. That's as much as I'm pushing on that. That's it. And these cardboard things, like I've got stacks of them. Every time I order something, even if it's not card related, I cut off and save parts of the box, and then you reuse it for different shipping purposes like this. And I wanted it oversized because I don't want any, since I can't tape it down, I don't want any corners coming out the side. I want to stay still. It's pretty tight. I don't want that. Make sure I got the right camera on. Still learning this, and I don't always know which camera I have on. All right, now I'm gonna get my bubbles and send it off. I'm sending it in a box. I'm not sending it in an envelope or anything like that. I want an actual box. If it was a cheaper card, I might, but I don't know many people that would be okay or happy with losing $1,000. So, all right. Appreciate it, everybody. Have a good night. All right, everybody. Back with the order back from PSA. Got the wife in the back there with a little one on the way in 3 weeks. So we sent this in on it arrived November 7th, and then I got it back November 18th, so about 11-day turnaround. Not too bad in the grand scheme of things. I could think of it been a little faster, but I'll show you that in a second. Open up the card, let you see the grade, and then show you what the site looks like on the phone and the PSA website. So my first impression was that it was very basic packaging. I thought they could have done a little more with it, but maybe since they didn't, they would have passed that cost on to us. I feel like whenever you get the eBay authenticated items, the packaging is very nice and it looks very professional. I'm not saying they should do it or not, but just I was expecting something different. So this is the actual, when you do the order, the actual paper that you put in the box itself. Whenever you ship the card in, they use the printout you send in and then mark it up as they go. But I was expecting, and I don't do like those other people where they do the slow, won't show you anything and it take forever to flip it, and 5 minutes later you're like, just show that the dang card. But it got a 9, and I did it again. Hold on. Boom, now you can see it. All right, so it got a 9, and I paid for the authenticator notes, and I expected the notes to be a little more in depth, but you can see it's a tad off on on north to south on the vertical. There's a little bit less real estate up here compared to down here. And I had thought that was within the guidelines and figured it would be, sufficient, but apparently not with this particular grader. And I do think, as I've looked into a lot of these other silver pack updates they have out there, it seems they are grading them pretty tough, and there is quite a bit of cards out there that are a little off-centered on the vertical, if you will. But overall, can't be too upset with a 9, I guess. Curious if somebody else would have graded a little differently, but is what it is. So here's the let's see here. We got the PSA site up and the app. You can track it all the way through on both. I use the phone pretty much mostly. But here's the view that you'll see when you send it in, the different steps. Even though it said it arrived here on the 7th, it got to grading within about 24 to 48 hours. And it sat there for like 3 days. Well, actually, no, assembly. They graded it extremely quickly. And it just sat here for 2 to 3 days. So in my opinion, I feel like they could have completed it a little quicker and sent it back quicker, because you can even see at the top here, November 1 through 15 express special order. It was almost kind of like maybe they purposely set on it to mark it completed on the 15th, when it could have, in my opinion, maybe gone out a little sooner. So on the app here, whenever you get the results back, you can see the grader notes here and see it here. I was expecting a little more detail when paying for an extra service, which this one, I believe, is special. It kind of was tacked on a little bit, so I can't be too angry about it, but it just says front, top to bottom, and you have to piece together what that is exactly, top to bottom. I was just expecting a little more detailed write-up of what exactly constituted a 9. And I mean, you can clearly deduce it because that's the only thing it can be. But it would have been nice if there was a little more details with that. Then once you get it, once they complete it and it's before it's shipped to you, you can, let's see here, find that. You can click this reveal button here. I don't see it on the site, but click the reveal, and if you're into the slow, eventually, reveal it, you can do this to try to see what your number is. But it is nice, at least, that you can see it before it gets back to you. Then I guess the last thing is, once you get it, then it'll show the population count. I did see when we did the first part of this video that there was one that was listed then taken down, and then there's currently still one listed. I don't see any sold listings, and the only one of those two was graded. It was also a 9. That one, the vertical, it seemed to be just like mine, but the centering left to right was much more off, and it got a 9. So that's a little curious to me. But overall, the process wasn't too bad. It'll be interesting if I send in a mass submission to see what all that would entail, or if it wasn't during this special time. But overall, I'm pleased. I think it went well. I don't know if I do the ones and it'll be 2 months to get back, and that might be the case, but we'll find out and see. So thanks, everyone. If anybody has any questions about submissions, PSA, anything like that, let me know. Oh, one more thing I was going to mention. on that. I don't have all the answers, but I like research, and we could figure it out together and start a conversation. One thing, if anybody does any information, I wish that up here they put, number ED. Light just died, so that means we're ending. Number ED, whenever, the card number is T89CU-ED, it looks to me there's plenty of space there to put the whole thing. So why exactly did they elect to just put those two on there? If anybody knows, I'd appreciate a comment to figure that out. All right, everyone, have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.